What if the sun exploded? I don't mean slowly, over millions of years like it's supposed to. I mean right now. Suddenly. Instantly. What would happen to us? To Earth? To everything we know? First, let's get one thing straight. In reality, our sun just isn't massive enough to go supernova. Stars that explode like that are true giants, many times bigger than our own. But this is a what-if scenario, a cosmic thought experiment. So, let's break the rules of physics and imagine the sun detonates in a colossal, instantaneous explosion. What would the universe look like from a tiny blue dot? The first thing you need to understand is distance. The sun is about 150 million kilometers away. That's a huge gap. Light itself, the fastest thing in the universe, takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel from the sun to us. This means for the first 8 minutes after the explosion, we wouldn't have a clue. Everything would seem completely normal. The sun would be shining, the birds would be singing, and life would go on. We would be living on borrowed time, completely unaware of the catastrophe that had already happened. Then, after those 8 minutes are up, the end begins. The very first sign would be the light. Imagine you're outside, enjoying a beautiful day. Suddenly, without warning, the sun vanishes from the sky. One moment, it's there, a brilliant orb of light, and the next, it's just gone. The sky would instantly turn pitch black, as if someone flipped a cosmic switch. The stars would pop into view, stark and cold against the darkness. This wouldn't just be nighttime. It would be a permanent, unending night. That moment would be the last sunrise humanity would ever witness. Immediately following the darkness comes the cold. Without the sun's constant stream of energy, Earth would start to cool down, and fast. Think of it like a campfire going out on a freezing night. The warmth disappears almost instantly. Within a few hours, temperatures across the globe would begin to plummet. Within a single day, most of the planet would be below freezing. Within a week, the average global temperature would drop to around minus 17 degrees Celsius, and it would just keep getting colder. The oceans, which cover over 70% of our planet, would start to freeze from the top down. A layer of ice would form, getting thicker and thicker each day. This ice would actually insulate the deep ocean for a while, allowing some deep-sea life to survive a bit longer, huddled around geothermal vents. But on the surface, it would be a different story. Life as we know it would grind to a halt. Plants would be the first to go. Photosynthesis, the process that powers nearly all life on Earth, needs sunlight. Without it, plants can't create energy. They would wither and die within days. And when the plants go, the entire food chain collapses. Herbivores would starve first, followed quickly by the carnivores that prey on them. Our entire ecosystem, built over billions of years, would crumble in a matter of weeks. But what about the explosion itself? Wouldn't we be vaporized by a giant fireball? Not necessarily. The explosion would send out a massive shell of radiation and superheated plasma, but it would also take time to reach us. It's the immediate loss of light and heat that would hit us first. When that blast wave finally did arrive, hours or days later, it would be devastating. It would likely strip away our atmosphere, bombard the surface with lethal radiation, and boil off any remaining surface water that hadn't already frozen solid. It would be the final, destructive nail in Earth's coffin. Now, let's talk about gravity. The sun's immense gravitational pull is what holds our entire solar system together. It keeps Earth locked in its perfect, life-sustaining orbit. If the sun suddenly vanished, its gravity would disappear with it. Remember that 8-minute delay? It applies to gravity too. So, 8 minutes after the sun explodes, Earth would no longer have anything to orbit. Our planet would be untethered, flung out into the cosmos like a stone from a slingshot. We would become a rogue planet, hurtling through the infinite darkness of interstellar space in a straight line. We'd be a frozen, dead world, drifting aimlessly for eternity. The moon would still be with us, a loyal but equally frozen companion. But our familiar neighborhood of planets would be gone. Mercury and Venus, being closer to the blast, would be obliterated. Mars and the outer planets would also be cast out into the void, each becoming a rogue planet on its own dark journey. The solar system would simply cease to exist. So, could humanity survive any of this? The short answer is no. Not in the long run. Some people might survive for a little while, Those living in deep underground bunkers, or perhaps in submarines, in the deepest parts of the ocean, could hang on for a bit. Geothermal energy from the Earth's core could provide heat, and nuclear power could generate electricity for a time. But the biggest problem would be food. Without sunlight, you can't grow crops. Hydroponic farms could last until the power runs out, but eventually, resources would dwindle. Society would collapse, and the few remaining survivors would be living in isolated pockets of warmth on a frozen, dead planet flying through empty space. Even if we managed to build the most advanced self-sustaining shelters imaginable, they would only be delaying the inevitable. The atmosphere itself would eventually freeze, as the temperature drops to hundreds of degrees below zero. The very air we breathe, the nitrogen and oxygen, would turn into liquid and then snow down onto the surface as a solid frost. The sky would literally fall. So, the next time you feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, or watch a beautiful sunset, take a moment to appreciate it. That star, 150 million kilometers away, isn't just a light in the sky. It's the anchor of our world. It's the engine of life. It's the reason we're all here. Without it, we're just a speck of dust in the dark. The explosion of the sun wouldn't be a fiery end. It would be a descent into a cold, dark, and endless silence. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this cosmic journey, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-bending what-if scenarios. See you in the next one.